I'm Jane, I'm 23 years old, and I'm a lawyer and an entrepreneur at the same time. So that's the way to round out everything that I do into very simple English. Yeah. I model, I host, and I act as well, so just 3 things.
My name is Benjamin. I'm an aspiring creative director, 23, graduated from economics, and just said, I'm not interested in this. I want to pursue my interests and what really fulfills me. So I just attach anything that can carry a message and I can tell a story out of it together. And then that took me into like art direction, acting and modelling. And then slowly but surely I'll just make my way to a creative director so I can just work on any projects I like. Just the state of your mind. I think internally it's the core of how you are as a being. Your mental health is very important to you. It dictates everything within your body, whether it be your relationships, your actual physical health, and your thought process. So it's an important thing.
I think of depression. I think of anxiety. I think of sadness. I think of yourself, like the person or the individual, and where they are as a person and how they see themselves. So that's what comes to mind when I think of that. Okay, well, the most serious one for me would be when I was in law school. That was the most horrible time in my life. I hated it. But I got to a place where I was doing stuff, not because I enjoyed it, but because coming from an African home, you have to do stuff, and I kind of didn't know what I wanted to do right after uni. I didn't want to work, I was still to go to school. That kind of transition from school to working is very scary at times. So I was just like, let me just go to law school and do something else, so at least I'm in school and I'm not working. And then I got in there and I just felt lost as a person. I wasn't enjoying what I was doing. I couldn't quit because my parents were just strangling. Not they were strangling me, but I just feel like a failure. And it takes a turn on your mind and how you see yourself. And I saw myself as a failure, and it was difficult waking up every morning.
Yeah, so I've been through situations in like university, for example. I feel like a lot of people do as well. Just like might go through a bit of depression or some sort of struggle. With me, it was more of like a fear of failure. There was a period in my university that I had to start again after doing like a placement at workplace, and it's made me feel like, is this really for me? Can I really finish this? Can I let my parents down? I've got siblings that are just doing so well in their professional careers, so it's like I'm the last one now. Can I be as good as them? But then you have to just really just put yourself in a good mind frame and just make sure you know that your individual journey is going to be different to everyone else's, and you're going to have setbacks, etc. But you can make your way out of it. But depression is probably the most prominent one that I've been through.
And I remember I used to go to school, and it used to be like in central London, and you could just, I was just kind of that, I think I'll just jump into this train and just die right now, and that could just be the end of it. And I had to come to that realization of myself, and I was just like, at the end of the day, whatever it is that I do, if I say I'm not doing it anymore, I'm not doing it anymore. Like, you can't come and kill me. You actually I can't come and kill myself. I actually can't come and kill myself. But it was a hard time for me, and that as well as when I was in a relationship like a few years ago.
I think with them, they don't really see it. They don't understand what it is. They just think, what's this depressed that comes out people's mouths? But luckily, my parents, they won't look at it as like it's just a nonsense piece of thing. They're very understanding, and they talk a lot, so they could see how it might affect me. They might not necessarily understand it, but they would have an ear to listen. But as a whole, I feel like it's not concentrated on enough at all. As we all know, there needs to be more focus on it and more information given to their parents and education given out. But
And in terms of your people in your age group?
My age group, it's a lot more prominent now. People are more aware of it. It's quite a popular thing at the moment. It's even looked as a trend sometimes. But I think it's all well and good knowing what it is and the fact that it happens to people, but there's still not enough people actually doing something about it. It's just more marketing of mental health, needs to take care of it, etc., etc. But really and truly, the way things are going nowadays, I feel like people are just becoming worse off with their mental health, especially because of the things we have access to, like social networking, all these kind of things. Like, it's just making people's mental health worse.
We lack so much in that area to the extent that only a few parents are coming to realize now what mental health is. Because even though they're going through it, they've been through it, they're doing stuff they don't enjoy, they're working hours they totally hate in a job that they totally hate, but you can't do it because you're a parent. You have to feed your children, you have to do something. But then they don't understand that the time we're in right now, even though they think, oh, you have all this digital stuff, it's easier. I'm like, no. It's harder. Because in your time, you don't have no phone, you have no Instagram. You're not looking at someone's Instagram like, oh, they're so skinny. They have no, you don't have that. Unless I see you and I know you, you don't exist in my world. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
But I have access to Instagram, I have YouTube, I have access to everything that I get to see people living their best life. Quotation mark, because some people dying behind that best life, boy. But
we see it as I think we see it as a huge negative, first of all. And one thing I would say is, weirdly enough, it's not a huge negative because it builds you to something better once you do get over it finally. So that's the first point I'd make. Second of all, there's just not necessarily enough education about it, or like how to deal with things, or just the correct practices to follow. Like, a lot of people turn to drugs, drinking, just ways of occupying time rather than actually dealing with the situation, creating false personas online, making yourself seem so happy, fun, and really just struggling with the time every day. So it's like, yeah, you gotta face reality and actually just work on it. Rather than just trying to create a facade all the time. Work on your problem.
Yeah, I really agree.
It's only a few parents that's come to that realization that, okay, this is actually something. They're speaking to their kids more, they're trying to understand where they are, what it is you're going through, how is school, not just how is school. Did you read today? Yeah, I read, but how is school? Are you making friends? How are your friends? And where are you as a person? Where are you going? Are you enjoying what you're doing? But we don't really have enough organization. We don't really speak about it a lot, because if I'm like, I remember, like, even when I was going through those campaigns, I'm like, yo, I'm depressed, like, I'm sad. She'd be like, well, okay. I'm like, what do you mean, okay? Like, I don't want to pray about it. I want to talk to someone. I want us to have that conversation. And it took me and my dad talking about it for me to be able to get comfortable to speak about it to other people. I have friends that I can trust with that area of my life, because I'm very private. I don't really talk to people about stuff like that. My social media, you can see it looks perfect, and like, happy birthday to you guys, great stuff. But it's having that kind of safe zone that we don't really have as Black community and as Africans, because especially for males, because females, we can always like, girls night day, let's all talk. But the boys, they don't have that bromance. Not a lot of people do though, that they feel comfortable to talk about it. And this year and late last year, we lost so many people to mental health, and it's sad that they felt like they had no one to talk to. Just even a simple conversation, a phone call, like, I'm in a dark place in my life, I feel so sad and I just want to talk about it. I just want someone to pray for me. I just want you guys to pray for me. We don't really have that safe zone in Africa.
I think with parents, it's more of like they can just listen, because they can't necessarily feedback because they don't understand. They can just listen. The fact that they're listening alone is good enough, because it helps when you can talk to someone about something and they don't have any judgmental view towards it. It helps you quite a bit. But I think compared to our age group, they can give a lot more practical advice and just like really support you on a day-to-day basis, and like just give advice from their points of views and maybe things they're going through as well, and share your struggles and things like that. Key thing for me was luckily of religion, so my faith, that was a big thing for me, just because there was a period where I had lost it completely, like I was very low, and finding it again helped me just bring myself back up and build myself again. But along with that, I just friends that really care about you and that want the best for you, they will definitely help you get out of it. And just positive thinking, just stating certain things to yourself and understanding that you're gonna have struggles, you're gonna have difficulties, but you can get out of it, and there's light at the end of the tunnel, as I always say. So just not to stay in the rut, basically. That's probably the best thing.
I have like daily affirmations. Like, I speak to myself a lot, like in the mirror. I'm just like, you're great. It's funny, like when people see me doing it, I'm just like, you get it. But it helps me to actually believe in what I'm doing, because like running my own business sometimes is very hard on me, and I'm just like, okay, cool. I need to find a way to actually keep going regardless of how I'm feeling today, because sometimes I'm just like, I can't do this. Can I sign up from adult? I need that contract, tear it up, I'm not doing it anymore. But I know I can't do that, because awkwardly enough, I have younger people that look up to me. They feel like, okay, cool, she's doing this, me too, I can do it as well. So I have to find a way to keep going. So daily affirmation for me is something I do every single day. I wake up and just like, okay, you're gonna have a good day, whether you like it or not. You're gonna have a good day. You're gonna have to go out to speak to customers. You have to sell your product to people. You have to sell yourself as a brand to people. And sometimes I'm very shy, I just keep to myself, but I have to kind of do that to get my coins, so I have to do it. And I pray as well, because I believe in God. That's my real MVP. That's my dad. So I pray a lot. So I'm just like, not just kneeling down praying, I communicate, I talk to him. I can't just be walking to the bus stop and I'm just talking. Like, not out loud, probably think I'm mad, but in my mind I'm having a conversation with God about something that might be hard. And also I try to speak to people, family members, friends, people that you feel safe with. Especially not just anyone that will just kind of throw it back in your face when you guys are having an argument or anything like that. You have to find that safe haven for you. So those are kind of the three things that I do.
It's giving people the habit of like being a person they're not really. It's just, you're so happy online, and the person I come and see and just you don't open your mouth. you don't share a comment, you don't show your views. But online you're just doing the most and doing everything. That's why even with myself, I just try to be as natural online as possible. Like I'll take a selfie from down here like an uncle. That's real. Like, come on, like it's just be honest with yourself, innit? There's no point creating this shiny looking person online, and when people come to me in real life, I just don't see the same person. Cause I won't respect that at all. First of all, and then we know something's wrong. So yeah, it's just that's the best main thing I can really say. Just be real with yourself.
Yeah, be real with yourself.
Yeah, man.
I think before you get to the stage where you can tell yourself that daily affirmation, because it can be hard sometimes, because you have to say that you don't even believe it. It takes time to get to that stage where you start believing it. As much as doing that, I will say that you need to find a safe haven for you. You need to find good friends, that family member you can talk to that you know that understand you. Because speaking about it, at least you know, okay, this is the problem. You're now aware of it physically, not just in your mind. You know, okay, this is something. It's right here, right now. So, because when it's just in your head, you're thinking, oh, it's just thoughts, but your thoughts are very powerful, which is what people mostly forget. Like, it's just you and your thoughts in your mind half the time. But when you speak about it, it's now something, okay, it's here. I write a lot in my diary. So if I'm finished, I can see it. This is now physical to me, so I can deal with it directly instead of like, I don't even know what I'm fighting. I'm just fighting something. Do you get what I mean? So I think find the safe haven for you. Find good friends. Good friends that you can talk to, that understand, that sometimes it's not even about telling me something, just listen. Let me just run for 5 hours, just listen. That's all I needed to do, just listen, just be present. And I think that's one of the most important things, because people just don't feel like they can talk to someone, and then they end up fighting a battle they don't even know anything about by themselves, and most of the time sadly we lose. So that's a sad thing. So it's just kind of finding a safe space where you can talk about it. If you don't feel like you don't have any good friends you can talk to, I mean there's social groups for that, where you can go and speak about stuff like that. So yeah.
Us being black males from London, this is one thing that I deeped probably only a couple of months ago, even though we've lived it our whole lives. You can't walk down the road and it feel normal. You always have some sort of paranoia around you, just because of the colour of your skin and the background you come from. I can't walk down the road comfortably and think,
I just think it's a sad battle that we have to fight at the end of the day. But a lot of us, if not majority of us, go through it. But no one just speaks about it because it's a very touchy topic for people, and it's just something we have to start talking about more. Like, it's sad, but it's awkward, and we have to be in people's faces with it, because we've lost way too many people to suicide, to people killing themselves because they just feel they can't take it anymore. But it's a phase. That's how I see it. For me, it's a phase that there's something greater I see the future. Like, I try to see the future now instead of the right now that I'm living in.
Mhm.
So if I'm feeling sad right now, I'm thinking, okay, cool. What does the future look like for me?
Mhm.
I can paint my own future in my mind. No one else can do that for me. So even if it's looking dark right now, I'm going to see lightness regardless of anything. So it's just kind of seeing yourself in a better space and working towards it and having that positive energy and mindset, even though it's not easy, but you just kind of have to fight yourself, because if you keep thinking negative thoughts, sadly negative things and people keep
Like
coming
the
to
law
your
of
life.
attraction.
Yeah, the law of attraction. So you kind of have to just be like, bad energy, stay far away, boys. Stay far away. But yeah, so that's one thing I would say.
Guys, like I said, be yourself, innit? Be yourself, be honest with yourself, deal with your issues. There's no point in faking and creating a facade, because at the end of the day, you just crash and it will go wrong for you. So just help yourself, do the best you can. That's it.